he knew that this guy was tarnished to begin with. So that's all I have to say.
So he's out of the Senate now, right?
The House.
Oh, the House. So do they automatically replace him with a Republican, or is there another election where a Democrat could take it?
Well, therein lies a big question mark. You know, because he whether or not he wants to try to get back in again because he resigned. So there's a big controversy about that.
Yeah, but he resigned because he didn't want that report to come out. There's a report about his past. So that was why he resigned. And that's probably why he quit, because that report's going to get released.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's nasty. This guy was too controversial from day one, so that's why I think it was a bad pick.
I'm wondering now, since the House is so close, right? It's 219. I think that's all they have. What? They're up by, it could end here. So they may only have one a representative, a majority. And if Gates is out, if there's a new election, that means it could go the other way. I mean, I don't know, but isn't that the way it would be?
Right. In the House, it has to have a special election.
Somebody said.
Oh, okay.
And to LWI, the Senate gets appointed by the state. The House, you have to have a special election.
Yeah, but does that mean a Democrat can be in that election?
Hello, YouTube.
Oh, affirmative.
So they could wind up losing the House.
Yep, it's gonna happen.
Well, they won't lose the House. They're going to have more than the exact majority. KB2 UKA.
There he is, the media king.
We're live from Fort Salonga, New York.
Can play with, so they're not worried about it. However, somebody said something about Ted Cruz being nominated, and no, they should keep Ted Cruz where he's at. I mean, you don't want to lose the Senate. So the way I see it, they've got to start playing chess now, because any hole the opposition is going to try to get through.
That's what she said.
I think if anybody has any kind of introspective analysis capability of one's personality and looking at them on screen and their track record, it doesn't take a hell of a lot to reach a deduction on Matt Gaetz. I never liked the sleazebag.
Break.
Stand by, break. I think he would have been perfect, Rick. I think the fact that he is a sleazebag, I think he would have been vicious and served a lot of cold dishes of revenge, but of course, constitutionally, I think he's exactly what we needed. But I've been sandbagging for a minute. I also agree with Norm. This might have been all calculated for a reason. What I first thought was he nominated Gaetz so everyone would focus on Gaetz while he nominates all these other people. But there might be a bigger reason, okay? It might be who he really wants to nominate for Attorney General. It might make Gaetz look like a altar boy when this is all done.
Who knows? We're just mere mortals. You know, the whole government, the bureaucracy, and all of the antics that go on, we're not privy to, and it's just we can't even imagine what goes on behind closed doors.
Can you imagine if he nominates Giuliani? And go ahead, break.
Yeah, and to GW. No, you took the wind. That's exactly how I see this. This was strategic. The nomination of Gaetz, absolutely strategic. One, to see what kind of capital is needed, political capital there is, and your point is absolutely the way I see this. They want to see where they are and see where they have to go. I don't think. I don't want to say that he wasn't serious, but I will say that there was a lot of discussion beforehand that he was not going to obstruct if he was, if this was going to play out like it did. I absolutely think it was a strategy, and I agree with Norm, and I agree with those thoughts. Hopefully we get back to business, because we've been a long ways away from it with this crew. And to GEW.
And you know what, Herb? The other thing that this did, this also was a feeler for Trump, okay? Because Gates didn't drop his nomination because of Democrats. Let's remember that. This told Trump who is going to fall in line with him and who's going to be his opposition in the Republican Party. So now he has the rhinos completely labeled, and he knows who he has to watch out for. KB2 UKA.
Spot on.
Yeah, there's still a lot of rhinos out there.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Norm.
Okay, well, you guys are thinking like me. What is a liability? And gentlemen, this is all make-believes. Supposing I hire Herb and Richie. Richie, for years, gambling, buries money in his yard, has 500-pound fat women chasing him around. And Herb...
What a time to be alive.
Been straight-laced and never did all of that stuff. So, I have to hire somebody. But Richie's been with me for 40 years. I know all his dirty habits, okay? You other guys want to invest in my company. And I'm thinking, if I hire Richie and the stuff comes out, what he's been doing, these guys are going to pull their investment money. I should get Herb in there. And I think that's what was going on. I think President Trump knew that the Playboy, he walks in a room and everyone smells dog shit. That means you have been walking where you shouldn't have. And another interesting point, just 2 days ago, the deposition was hacked. Somebody found out what was in the ethics committee deposition. And did you notice there was no argument from Matt Gaetz, who is a firebrand? No argument. He immediately withdrew after he rescinded his position in the government. So I think President Trump knew this guy, we've got to get him out of here in a real nice way, because we don't need somebody's decisions compromised because of a blackmailer. And I think he's been getting blackmailed. They're saying that he's been spending a lot of money on these women. You just don't know. AC3 GD.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, they'll invest. They would invest in you if you put it out there. 500, like Hugh Hefner, he had all those gals in there. Well, I'll have all the 500-pound women in bikinis in the magazines, and boy, they'll be invested like crazy.
Do you know, back when Richie was young, he used to go down to the Caribbean, okay? There was so many broads that he made a song up about it. Remember that, Richie? You could bang them for 10 at a time for a dime. 10 at a time for a dime.
Oh, shit.
Well, I'm gonna add a little bit more comic relief to this too, because if Mike was here, he would say, Matt Gaetz, he's another Jeffrey Epstein.
Norm, you hit it on the head, I think. Maybe Trump this was the way to get Gaetz out of politics. to make a nice, clean entry for Trump.
This could be major.
Did you like my impersonation?
I did, Rick. I did.
Okay, I tried to do it as authentically as possible.
So maybe Gates is guilty of some bad stuff, real bad stuff, and they had to get him quietly out of there. And how do you get somebody? You say, hey, look over here while you're getting them. You know what I mean? I'm nominating him for Attorney General. Da da da. Oh, look, he's so sure he's going to be Attorney General, he resigns from his House seat. Oh, wait, now he's stepping down, and he goes out off into the sunset.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. The guy's been so tainted, and it really didn't come to light until fairly recently. But they got the whole dossier on this guy, so he's been an embarrassment from day one.
Stand by, guys. Yeah. Whoever's asking if the frequency is in use, I'm sure you're kidding, correct?
He's just a libtard.
If you ask if the frequency is in use one more time, I'm going to kick your ass so hard your nose will bleed.
Holy crap, you tell him, Norm. We'll get him.
But please, jump in any time. You're welcome here.
He's just one of those low information voters.
No, Norm is going to kick his hiney. We're going to get him, right, Norm?
Richie, your audio sounds amazing. How many times did you tweak it today?
No, I didn't touch it since the other night. No, I'm not bothered with it.
I got big plans, Richie. Something arrived yesterday. It's still in the box. Something is arriving tomorrow. I've got a very busy weekend, but I'm gonna try to implement some changes over here.
Yeah, I got to get on when you do it. I want to hear it.
There's one more piece of gear I want, but that all depends if a big deal closes next Friday.
What do you mean, big deal? How much is this thing?
Well, the thing I want's $3,000. So, in order for me to spend an additional $3,000 on the hobby, I got to make sure I'm bringing in 10 times that.
Holy crap, $3,000. What's this thing going to sound like?
I think I'm going to do a brand new Optimod.
You're gonna sound like God.
I think I'm going to get a Optimod 9300.
You hear that, Norman? Optimod of 300.
He already sounds like God.
I know he does. That's what I always tell him.
I think we're going to do an Orban Optimod, 26 dB of compression. That's unheard of, but the sweetness about it is you don't even hear it. You don't hear that the sound is compressed.
Wow, that's really state-of-the-art stuff.
Won't that bring in a lot of background?
Well, there's got to be a nice, solid gate. I don't know if I'm going to buy that, Ron. I've got a Motu 828 coming. So the Motu 828 is a rack mount mixer audio interface. So I'm probably going to use that as a preamp. That'll be here tomorrow. And then I'll come out one of the output channels to the rack ear and then come back into the Motu to VAC the audio. And my parametric 2BQ came back from WZ5Q yesterday. I haven't opened it yet, though. It's in the box still.
Huh? It's gonna be interesting.
It's going to be very, very interesting. But this is the best my audio's ever sound. So I can't, whatever I do, I can't, I got to be able to at least go back to this.
I tell you the truth.
Sure whatever you're doing now is
I don't know if you can get any better.
And,
it sounds awesome.
Will you be able to actually do an A/B between it?
No, I won't be able to do an A/B because I'm going to be using most of the same equipment in both scenarios.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you should. Do you have a means of making a copy of your audio the way it sounds now?
Yeah, well, considering it's almost all rack gear, I'm gonna have to take photos of the settings.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean, you should get a reference recording somehow. Have a reference recording so that when you make the change, you can A/B it, for yourself.
Oh, yes, that'll have. It'll be relative. It'll be on the Good Kiwi SDR, which I know it sounds better in your receiver or anybody's receiver on here. But it'll be relative. So I'll record both into the Kiwi.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, Norm.
What Ron is saying is called a baseline, and the baseline is exactly what he described. You got to have one for comparative analysis.
Ron, how's your noise level right now? You want to take a recording of me?
Hold on a second. I have NR2 on. Yeah. Your signal seems pretty strong. It might be good. Hold on. Let me set up here. Just take me a few seconds.
All right, just let me know when. Yeah, you're 20 to 25 over, and I'm running 1500, and we're about 20 miles from each other, so it should be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Let me just set it up. Give me about 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Richie, it's my turn for a recording.
Wow.
Oh, Richie, where'd you go?
He's devising a plan and a recipe and a concoction. He's thinking about Thanksgiving. He wants to do a turkey pizza, but he doesn't know how quite to pull it off.
I think he's looking up the Orban 9300 right now.
He might be getting his rocks off. That's with all due respect, of course. It used to be on 44, where Mike used to be and I used to be, and a couple of the other guys on this frequency. It was no holes barred on 44. You could say anything and everything. Do any of you guys remember those days?
Yeah, it was only like 4 months ago on 44. No one's on 44 anymore.
I know. What happened? It seems like more than 4 months ago, though. But I used to be part and parcel of that, and after a while, it used to get ridiculous because we had so many QRMers, and there were some other guys in there who are no longer hams. They just got out of the hobby. they invited the QRM, and
What's
after
up,
a while,
Andy?
it just wasn't for me anymore. At times, it was kind of funny. It was controversial. It was extremely political, extremely so, but overly so in that. There's more to ham radio than just politics.
Yep, you got that right. All right, let's see. Ron, are you ready?
No, I'm not. I have to change a few seconds. Let me just get this straight. I'm still working on it.
See, I'm always causing problems, Rick.
Well, man, you sound from Fort Salonga up here across the bay and everything. You're potent. Should I say it? You're impotent, and that's a good thing. But anyhow, no, I keep saying it, but it's true. Everybody sounds good. But here's the difference. Everyone sounds good in their own way. Everyone has a certain signature, and I think you all know what that means. And it's true even with CW, which is near and dear to me. Everyone has a certain signature with their signal and the way they key, the way they use a straight key or a paddle or their timing, the way they have their electronic keying set up. It's the same thing. with audio, everybody has a different microphone. They're all trying to employ a different signature or essence to the quality of their signal based on their mic and on their voice. So I think everybody does a wonderful job.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, Doug, I don't know what's going on here. The recorder's not recognizing my sound card for some reason, so I'm going to reboot the computer. I've seen this happen before, so I'll be back. I got to reboot.
I'm sorry, Ron. It's up. If you don't want, if it's too much trouble, don't worry about it. But I'll be here.
Yeah, no, definitely not too much trouble. Just let me reboot. I'll be back in a minute or two.
All right, cool. Thank you. And Rick, I agree with you. And you said something very important, and it shows that everyone here, you know, takes their audio seriously. The fact that everyone has their own unique sound means that they're doing it right, because it's subjective, right? And the only, besides basic stuff like being muddy or being tinny, you can't have that. But once you have all that fixed, then the sound, you have to make sure that you like the sound. So everybody likes their sound differently, and that's why we all sound different, but all good fidelity and all good basic fundamentals. KB2 UKA.
Exactly. Doug. Well, you hit the nail on the head. You're right in concert with what I'm saying, and you know, I'm not as sophisticated as you guys are with audio, but this is what I have, and hopefully it sounds decent. I just want good communications quality, and maybe it's enhanced a little bit, but well, I'm not going to go through the whole routine again. You know where my head is at. So, but it's true. It is, and that's basically what I was trying to say, and I've said it before, but you reinforce it. It's very, very subjective. It's very subjective. Richie, and I've talked to Richie so many times, he wants to hear his audio a certain way. And if he's not hearing that certain clarity or reverb aspect of it, or the bass response, or if it's too boomy in the bass, he's upset. And I understand that. So anyhow, but it's very difficult for me to evaluate it. Although Ron has done some nice recording for me, but I don't know. I think I've kind of reached not necessarily the end of no return or whatever, but I don't know. I'm kind of sick and tired of it being basically an analog thing going on here, even though it's a hybrid SDR.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's parametric EQ. It's an okay microphone, but
all right, Ron, stand by.
Makes up for it because I have a certain type of voice for this context. You know, this arena. It's not DXing, but rag chewing. But yeah, anyhow, I'm rambling. If I ramble on and on and on and on, I know my good friend N2LYM is going to jump in here and chastise me. But what you said is very, very true. WX2T.
Question.
Go ahead, Station.
Question. We'll give you an answer.
Okay, well, N2GW, but there's a line waiting. I don't want to butt in front. I always wondered about when I've met someone and sat in front of them and become familiarized with them over their conversation, their speech quality, how it goes over the air, how it comes to my ear if we're sitting for coffee 2 feet away. I've always wondered how that is not really required when you're doing an analysis of the audio. The audio characteristics, I understand, But if you're really trying to get to the heart of it, that you sound like exactly like you are highs and lows. I'm stupid, I guess. I never figured out how that could be ignored, the person to person. So anyway, sorry to interrupt, but I always wanted to get that out there. Now I've got the right group to hear it. So chastise me as needed. But anyway, N2GEW.
All right. Hold on. I'll take that. But Ron, are you ready?
Yes, I am. It was my fault. What happened was I had turned my sound card over earlier when I was cleaning up the room, and I plugged it into the wrong side of the card. So what's going on here? Yeah, everything's good, Doug. I backed off on the AGC, no NR2, so it should be a good recording.
All right, Roger. This is KB2 UKA. We are taking a baseline recording with WB2RON. As over the next week or so, I'm going to be making some major changes to the audio chain. So this baseline will help me compare it because I enjoy the way this sounds now. And Herb, sounding the way we normally sound face-to-face is important. But I think the name of the game here is taking the natural sound that you would hear from someone across from a table having a cup of coffee and enhancing parts of the voice that stand out in a good way and decreasing parts of the voice that may stand out in a bad way or cause ear fatigue. I listen to 1010 Wins every morning. It's a New York City local news station. They're on FM now, 92.3. They cover the whole island. They probably cover North Jersey. And, I hear these news reporters talking on there, and I've seen them. I've heard them on television also, and their voices sound enhanced on the radio. And that comes from EQing and proper compression. I think we'll end the recording now. KB2 UKA.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me make sure I have it. Hold on.
Hey, Ron, WXUT. I thought I'd just jump in, and that's because also, too, all these radio stations, I guess AM and maybe FM, they've all gone digital. It's all digital now, as far as the RF is concerned, too. And that I think that's, am I wrong? I don't know. But hasn't that changed the whole thinking, the whole mix?
Well, 1010 Wins is still on AM in New York. It's 1010. They simulcast to FM on 92.3. So they're actually broadcasting RF, but they also broadcast digital. So, even my Jeep Wrangler has what they call high definition FM, HD FM. I'm actually not too familiar with it. I think there might be a side carrier of digital information on that. But because they are still AM, they are broadcasting.
Right. And
yeah, more to what Herb was talking about. I think you're talking, perhaps Herb is talking about fidelity or accuracy or how faithful our audio reproduction is compared to the original, and I don't think it's close. Especially when we're playing around with these plugins, we're trying to, like Doug say, enhance the audio, maybe for communications, maybe to sound better over the radio and so forth. If you want to hear more accurate audio, some of the AMers are into that. For example, Doug, Eric WB2CAU. He just uses a Sennheiser E835 mic, a little EQ, and nothing else, and he sounds excellent. He sounds like he does in person. And I've heard other people that sounded that good, basically like they do in person, and you'll hear some of the AMers trying to achieve that. But I don't I don't think we're really trying to do that here. I think it would perhaps sound too dull compared to what we're trying to do. But I don't know, live versus, a recording. So anyway, I got you, Doug, and I'll send it in a little bit. I'm just going to edit some of the extra stuff that's in there, and then I'll send it out to you.
I really, really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. And guys, I have I'm going to be getting out of here in a minute, but I've had the live stream on the whole time. So if and I do have I have NR2 on right now. And by the way, Ron, I'm running 2.10.3.7 RC1. And they're doing a little bit more work on the NR2. This, you'll hear it when you check out the live stream. You almost can't tell that I have it on, and that's really what I'm looking for.
There have been tremendous improvements in NR2. Not the, I don't care for the one where you learn, what do they call this? That new one, hold on a second, darn it, where is it? NR2. This one where the trained, that always going to have artifacts because they're trying to get rid of noise, and that's a long story, but the regular NR2 has been greatly improved. The difference between NR2 and not using it is virtually nothing. So I agree, Doug. There have been improvements all along to the algorithm.
Yep, it's the train model. I'm not using that either. I'm using actually, I think I'm using, what am I using? Gamma right now. Gamma and OSMS, and it sounds very, very clear. Minimal to no artifact on the receive audio. Give it a listen later. It sounds good. But Ron, I'll look out for your email. Thank you so much. And we'll start the laboratory audio experiments. I think tomorrow night I'm going to start. I'm going to start tomorrow night. First thing I got to do is figure out routing for this Motu before I do any of that. And yeah, we'll use your recording as a baseline. So Rick 7.3, Herb 7.3, Richie went off into the wind. If you're listening, 7.3, and Ron, of course, 7.3. This is KB2 UKA. I'm clearing out of here. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, how do I get to your live stream? Just pull up your call sign. It's going to be up there.
Yep, I'm going to shut it down in a second. This one is called 3854 Politics. You'll see it.
Oh boy, I could find no other. Doug, I could find no other title for that one. AC3 GD out of Macklehattan.
Oh, Norm, I'm sorry, man. I didn't hear you in there for a minute. 73 to you as well.
No problem, Herb. I heard you.
UX2T, God bless you.
Yeah, okay, 73, everyone. Okay, I'm going to take a listen to that. Very good. Thanks for doing that, Doug. I'd be curious to see what it sounds like, too. So we'll get this recording out. Excuse me.
That's NR2 off.
A little bit. It's going to be a mono MP3, but high quality. You've heard my recordings. But just for this test, I'm going to up the bit rate to make sure there's no loss whatsoever. It's going to be very faithful. So good luck with that, Doug. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with once you get everything set up. KB2 UKA, WB2 R01 is clear.
All right, take care, guys. KB2 UKA QRT.
The voice of reason.
And YouTube land. You guys, Andy, take care, 73. Rattletrap 70. W1 SP.